Okay, so here's a good reason why you should install a catch can if you've got a turbocharged car or a supercharged one. See that oil there? That's on the turbo inlet, just there. Now I cleaned that about 2 weeks ago, 300 kilometers ago. That's how much oil came through as blow-by. Looking at the impellers now, you could see they're in good condition. But that oil there, that gets sucked into your engine, ends up on your intake valves. It's not good. It also dilutes your petrol inside the combustion chamber, lowering the octane rating. Not what you want if you've got a turbocharged or supercharged car. So install a catch can. Here's the catch can here. I got this from Amazon. Usual. I think it's one of the most popular catch cans out there. Everyone seems to be installing these because they're cost effective. They're about 35 bucks. Yeah, just a empty can. Haven't used it yet. So in the baffle, I've noticed online some guys are having problem with this where it will not open. I think theirs has been cross threaded. So that's the inside, and then that separates. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install, the kit came with this steel wool. I'm going to put that in there, just a little bit, and the rest I'll drop it in there. What I liked about this one is the fact that it comes with a dipstick. What I'll probably as well do eventually is with this dipstick, just put that back in there. It's got an O-ring as well, so O-rings are good. With the dipstick, I think what I'll end up doing is I'll paint it white so that more easy to see the level of oil in there. So just a run through bracket there. I'll be using this bracket to mount it in the engine bay, just like everyone else does in the same location. I'll show you the engine bay in a minute. Now, the kit came with that. I bought these hose clamps. Yeah, the ones that came with it weren't very good, so I decided to get some really good heavy-duty ones. These are really strong. 19mm to 19mm barb. Brass ones. I got plastic ones as well. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 19mm to 19mm. So the beauty of this is that you know, when the hose connects there, and that'll be black, you can't see it. The beauty of this is when the hose connects there and there, you'll see a gold ring. It might look good. I don't know. I'll either way. So what I did was I went to the hardware and I bought some black bolts, nuts and bolts. The reason why I want these is I want everything to be black. Now the other thing as well is I'm going to mount this in the car but upside down, and then that'll sit with the bracket. And I've got this hand nut. You see the photo there. Now the beauty of that is instead of using a wing nut, I'll be able to mount this like that in situ in the car. Whenever I need to, I can just unscrew this and remove the entire catch can. Tools not required, spanners not necessary. Made by Dayco. That's a part number. Now this, the reason why I got this is because, and I'll show you more clearly in the engine bay, is what I'm going to do is this is going to go into the breather where the turbo inlet hose is. You'll see what I mean in a minute. This also came with the kit. They got multiple sizes, which is good. O-rings as well. This is how they want you to mount the catch can to the bracket, but as shown earlier, I've got my own. So there's different fittings here for hoses. I don't like the small one. I think the smaller that is, the less airflow you're going to get through there. And the objective is to get as much blow-by gas, contaminated blow-by gas out of the engine as quickly as possible and into the catch can. Using a small diameter inlet like that is not the ideal way to do it. Instead, I'll be using this guy. This came in the kit. One there, one there. And the hose I'll be using to connect it to the PCV in the engine is this. I got this off, I believe, Amazon and mckayrubber.com.au. Now this hose, it's a fuel hose, and the internal diameter is not 19 mil. I don't know if you can see that. There, that's 19 mil. This is the one I'm using from the catch can. This is going to go into it. What I've done is I'll use a garden hose, and I'll cut just enough. I'll heat this up in water, boiling water, soften it up, slide it over there, and then I'll cut it just there. So it acts as a sleeve, which increases the diameter of that. Then that will fit inside this hose, like that. And I'll hose clamp it down with that. So the plan is, now what most guys do is they cut this, and they go like that into the catch can, into the inlet, and this goes into the outlet of the catch can. I really don't want to cut this, so I'm going to take this off, park it somewhere. This will go in there, like that. And it's got a bit of a curve on it. I'll cut it there. It'll go like that. And then the other hose, that McKay fuel hose, will go to the catch can. That 19 mil same hose, McKay 19 mil hose, will go in there to the catch can. Minimal connections, minimal mess. One of the first things I want to do is assemble the catch can. So I think by separating this steel wool in there and in the baffle area, what it'll do is it'll increase the surface area, allowing for more blow-by gas to be collected. It'll condense on the particles here and drip more easily. I just need to cut a small piece off. Okay, so I'll drop that in there. See if you can get a good look at that. I think that's too much. Again, too much. Yeah, we're all learning as we go. There you go, just a small amount. I noticed these holes and the hole on the other side of the baffle were almost lined up, which defeats the purpose of having a baffle. So by putting the steel wool, it'll certainly slow down the blow-by. Okay, so that's that one. That will go in there. I know some guys I've seen on YouTube where they put Teflon tape. In respect of that, I think with this O-ring here, that will suffice. Okay, I'll just get a spanner and tighten these up. I found this black aluminium bracket I've got at home, so what I'll do is I'll try that first to see if I can make the bracket in black aluminium. Otherwise I'll use the silver one and paint it black. So I've angled it, kind of measured it. Okay, so I've drilled a hole, angled it. It's looking pretty rough. I'm going to clean this up, paint it the whole bit, but this is just a prototype, just to make sure it fits. Now, to measure the height of where the catch can will go, I'll put this on. Then I can mark this tape like that. Once I'm happy with its height, I'll mark the tape. Otherwise, black marker on black aluminium won't work. I'll double check that. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm looking at an imaginary line going that way. I'll have to change that hose clamp location. And that will go underneath. Yeah, trying to make it as neat as possible. Perfect. These 4mm hex bit. Now I've drilled the holes and let's see if this works. Yep, they're perfectly lined up. Okay. Okay, so I've mounted the bracket to the catch can. Let's see how this goes. I am going to invert this. I think that bolt might be a little too long, so I'll shorten it later. But just for this trial run, let's see how this goes. once I'm happy with this, I'll remove that, I'll shorten the bolt, remove this nut and use that wing nut in its place. I think yeah, these will do. Oh, almost forgot. So what I'll do is I'll just remove this out of the way, just temporarily. Okay, so here's the hose that's going to go on. Now first thing, I've got to remove some of this stuff, so let's get the vacuum line out of the way. Nice and safe. Take this guy out. Okay, remove that, and I'll store this somewhere because I don't want to cut it. These things are so expensive. Just so you know, this cannot be bought individually, at least I couldn't find it. I don't want silicon, obviously. I want the original look. You can't buy these original individually. You got to buy that and the inlet tube together, the breather and the inlet. So yeah, I didn't want to go down that path. Okay, put that aside. Now what I'll do is insert the hose from there into there, and from there the exit into here. See how this goes. First thing is measuring. Okay, I'm the kind of guy that cuts twice, measures once. So let's hope I can break that tradition. I'll make it a little longer just to be on the safe side. I think that'll do. Okay, do that one first. I might put a bit of silicone on this just to make it slide a little easier. Here's the one that I'm using. I'm trying to mount it in a way where the writing is not visible. Oh, in case you're wondering what kind of hose this is, here you go. Okay, and that will go in like that, into there. Now what I've got to do is cut the other hose, this garden hose, cut that to fit over that. So I need, let's measure, I'll need about 2 centimeters worth. So you can see I'm not cutting that much off it. Yeah. That's it. That's what I'm cutting. Okay, so I've taken it off the catch can, installed the garden hose on it, and this is what it looks like. Now that outside diameter now is 19 mil, which matches that hose. Inside diameter, 19 mil. There you go. So that's what it looks like. Okay, that was a bit of a challenge, but it's in. Okay, so now that one's in, that's in all the way, that's tightened, that one's done. That's secured. All I've got to do is run it now from the outlet to the inlet. Yeah. Now I noticed on overseas models, I think in the US, that there's a clip, a sensor. I wish someone could tell me what that does, that sensor there. I've looked on the internet, no one seems to know. And I know overseas they've got a larger barb, so I don't know what that sensor is. Is it monitoring air or the amount of blow-by gas that's going through here? I don't know. But anyway, I know some guys, I think Project Mini, I watch his channels a lot. I've subscribed. Top bloke, knows what he's doing and gives very good advice. But I think he's cut his here. He's got a large one of these. He's cut it there, and then he's connected his 19 mil. I think I might follow his steps. Yep, I'll do that right there. Actually, there's a little tag down there which I've sort of started. I don't know if you can see that. See how it's tried to cut it to accommodate that notch down there. So I'll add that and come back. So you can see what I mean. That has a piece taken out of it now. To facilitate a flush fit. I think. Is that right? 19 So I'm going about 5mm over, just to make sure I don't undercut it. Everything's being held in by just being cut to the right size. What I'll do is I'll take this for a drive and see how we go. Oops, don't forget this guy. If ever you remove this, make sure you test it to make sure it's plugged in. Otherwise, no brakes.